Hello everybody and welcome back to another video with the Lecture Soul. If you're new to my channel, I'm a psychic medium, a spiritual life coach, and just that spiritual girl putting everybody on alongside a whole lot of other things. But today in this video, guys, I'm coming through with a video that was requested of me, which is in regards to basically how things were for me at the beginning of my law of assumption journey, because honestly, I did go through a lot of trial and tribulation. I definitely have made a video similar to this in the past, I believe, but what the person specifically wanted to know about how I really got to believing in myself when I became this conscious manifester that I am today. You know, very powerful because I led myself here, but I also understand where a lot of people in this world and a lot of people who discovered the law of assumption, some of them tend to feel a little bit, not baffled, but actually, yes, baffled. They tend to feel baffled because they feel like, as this person stated themselves, everyone else can manifest and they know that they can too, but it almost feels like you can't, you know? And it's not that you can't, because everyone is and everyone does. It's just that you feel like there's some sort of blockage or resistance that's keeping specifically you, but not anybody else, from manifesting what they want. And in reality, guys, that is a total mental blockage. That's all there is to it. I think it is a really great thing. Actually, it's really funny because I'm wearing like my whole figure skating jacket and I'm about to say something about figure skating. It's a good example here because this is exactly the same thing. No, it's not exactly the same. It's very similar. So in the case in point with figure skating is that there's a lot of mental blockages that people experience. It's usually when or if, let's say that you watch the Olympics and you're watching a performance, you're watching somebody skating and you see that they pop their jump. So what that means is that they go and they're in the air doing the jump, but they don't actually complete the jump in the air. They just pop it, like their legs just, you know, they usually open their legs and then they just land without really doing anything like that. So what happens there is that there are mental blockages, and what that does is it's not that the skater cannot perform and that they cannot actually do the jump, because they definitely can. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've done it before, they've attempted, they've landed it plenty of times, their coach knows it, everyone who's seen them do it knows it. That's beautiful. But the thing is that if you have a mental blockage about this, you may feel like you cannot perform the way that you feel like you should, okay? So when you are doing a jump, if you believe, oh, I'm gonna fall, or I could land wrong, or this is gonna be scary, anything that's limiting like that, it actually translates where you are now experiencing this kind of slowed down energy. You know, you're like sleeping on yourself unintentionally. You don't feel as confident, so you're mentally blocking yourself out from actually performing and doing things that you know you can do. It's the same exact thing here, in the way that when you are manifesting what you want, there is nothing here keeping you from being as powerful as you know that you are actually. You know, nothing out here is actually making you perceive yourself that way, okay? Nothing out here is actually contributing to that, but you yourself do feel like, because of things outside of you where you feel like, oh, this person, they manifested that, this person manifested a whole house, I haven't done anything, so where does that leave me? That doesn't mean, listen, first off, right there, the comparison is dead. That's what I had to learn at the beginning of my law of assumption journey, is that looking up success stories, they're very helpful, and I will say that they definitely give you a confidence boost because that's what they're supposed to do. But the whole thing is that if you're going to be looking up success stories and all that stuff, you cannot be sitting out here comparing yourself to everyone who's manifested things that you want. Just because it looks like they did something that you couldn't do, or that they manifested something that you felt like you couldn't, does not mean that they are more capable than you. The only difference here is that they actually believe in themselves and you don't. That's it. That's the only difference, okay? So that was a huge thing I had to learn at the beginning of my law of assumption journey, because comparing myself to other people it wasn't like a huge thing, but it was something that played a role. You know, like I would actually consciously think about those things, like, oh, I want to, it's like you go in with confidence, like I want to manifest this. Oh my God, a moth just literally flew into the camera. I don't know if y'all saw that, but that's like really spiritual. I may look up the meaning for you guys, so keep that in mind. But anyway, actually no, moths, I believe they represent, I think, transformation and new beginnings, which is funny because I saw 999 twice yesterday, and if y'all don't know, 999 is the angel number of new beginnings. It represents the ending of an old chapter and the beginning of a new one, so that's really cool, very symbolic, I feel, especially because, I mean, this is a video about my beginnings as a conscious manifester, and then now we're talking about the nows, okay? So that's like the new, it's like it was like a whole new beginning, and then now we're here continuing the new beginning, and we're making it even better and more powerful. I intend that makes sense. I just feel like it all wraps up together. But I mean, that was absolutely no coincidence at all. Absolutely not. Anyway, I mean, yeah, I'm outside. Like, the moth could have flown anywhere and it flew right into the camera. Very cool. Anyway, so yes, guys, okay, understand the comparison, kill it. It's dead. irrelevant, absolutely irrelevant. That's usually a big blockage that people carry with themselves, where yeah, you know, they feel like they have to do something that other people have done to prove it to themselves or to the world. If you want to prove things to yourself, feel free to do that. You're totally capable of doing that, and you can, of course, like, do it. You know, I always prove to myself that I could do a jump, whatever, by doing the jump. But the thing is that if you're going to be doing that, don't do it to make it a point to everyone else, like, haha, in your face, I can manifest this. I mean, you can, feel free to, but honestly, I just think that takes away from yourself. It just takes away from the fact that you should be focusing on all the wonderful things that you're manifesting in your life. Like, focus on yourself, focus on what you're doing, what you're perceiving, what you're achieving, what you're affirming for, what you are really just setting your eyes set straight and focused on. Like, you have to look forward, and you have to understand that everything behind you is behind you for a reason. It's not that you're leaving people behind and things behind, it's that you're leaving ideas behind. You're leaving toxic ideas that don't make you happy behind. That is the biggest thing that makes you feel like you can't or can manifest what you want. It is up to you to cater to the belief that you can do this, because at the end of the day, the biggest thing I had to learn as a beginner of the law of assumption, I'm talking back in 2021, it's 2025 now. In 2021, at the beginning of the year, it's been over 4 years now, okay? I know I'm a fucking expert on this shit now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that to the extent in which I can tell everyone everything about all this stuff. It's not about that. I mean that I have gotten this so down pat in my own life, where I know exactly how to think, how to not think, what to perceive and what not to perceive, when I know that I'm doing something that works against myself and when I know that I'm working with myself. Like, I understand everything now so much to the point where I'm able to apply all of it successfully, helpfully, beautifully, and it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, confidently, with power. You know, before I was a lot of stepping on avoiding to step on eggshells, because I was pretty afraid of the outcomes of what I was going to manifest, because I just didn't believe in myself that much. But I'm telling you guys, you prove it to yourself little by little. It's not about proving it to the whole world. Again, you're going to do that naturally. You know, once you manifest what you do, everyone's going to pay attention to what you're doing. The whole point here, though, is that you have to continue on in your life, understanding that all of the things that you're saying that you do have, you actually do have them. And while you are doing this, while you are manifesting what you want, while you are focusing on yourself, while you are doing everything that you should be doing to manifest the very best of the best, you have to also remember that you have to allow things to actually come together for you. That was a huge lesson I had to learn, for sure, because wow, did I not let things come together for me. You know, it's really funny because I always knew I was very capable of manifesting huge things. And when I say huge, by the way, they're all the same, just so you know. Nothing is big or small compared to the next thing. I just think that it's more of a perception where some things feel more unbelievable to certain people, so they tend to put things into categories like, oh, that's a big manifestation, like that's kind of crazy, a whole car, a whole house. Baby, that is no different than literally a slice of pizza, like I stated in my other video, or a freaking free cup of coffee, whatever, bro. Like, keep it basic, okay, but it's not basic because it's all the same thing. It's all a matter of your perception, what you believe is achievable for you. So for example here, let's say that someone who works with cars is completely like, yeah, I can manifest a BMW. Of course I can. Like, I've worked around cars my whole life. I know how easy it is for me to get one, boom, clap, whatever. But on the other hand, they kind of feel like them manifesting a free cup of coffee is like unrealistic because no one has ever given them that, right? So that right there, that could be their big and small manifestation, you know, in their heads. But that, the label needs to go, because the label is not helpful. The label keeps you in a box. It keeps you feeling like there are certain things you can or cannot achieve. It's all cap. You can absolutely achieve everything that you want. One of the biggest things that I manifested at the beginning of my law of assumption journey was honestly like financial stability. I'm gonna tell y'all that. I'm a Capricorn, so y'all know we don't play. I definitely don't play about money. Not in the way that I'm greedy. I'm definitely not a greedy person, but I am very powerfully perceptive of my money. You know what I'm saying? Like the financial flow, I'm very serious about it, because in this world, in an ego world like this, you need money. You don't need anything. You technically should have money so that you can afford certain things. In reality, you can afford everything. But you see right there, the reason you can afford everything is because you've opened up the door to that financial flow in abundance. So I no longer sleep on financial stability being a thing that we all deserve. Not even deserve, but that we all rightfully have. A lot of people assume that having financial freedom and flow is something that you really have to bend over backwards for, babe. Like, if you want to keep up the money, you got to keep on putting in all that work all the time. Sometimes people cancel out social lives. Sometimes people will not even date. People won't do things that they want to do. They'll stay up late. They'll work past their limit, you know, like exhausted, tired, burnt out, because they feel like they have to for this money that they are chasing. In reality, switch your perspective around. That was one of the biggest things I've had to do, and it was very serious, because actually when I found the law of assumption, I just knew it was God, because, and we all are God within ourselves, by the way, like the God, you know, that my higher self, my energy helped me, so God helped me through me, you know. So that's exactly what happened, is that God helped me in the way that I've told this story before. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about it because it's just like so in the past, but basically what happened was that I was at $0 in my bank account. I legitimately had zero money, like physical monies, okay? I had money, all the money up here, but I had no money physically, right? And I remember thinking, it was like such a low point in that sense. It wasn't even like I would say in like struggling on the outside, where it was like I couldn't afford food, I couldn't afford this, I couldn't afford that. Everything was always going to be taken care of for me, because I always assumed since I was born that God, the universe, spirit had my back no matter what. If I had no food, someone was going to offer me food. If I had to be somewhere and I didn't have a car, I was going to get a ride somehow. You know what I'm saying? So I always kept my channels open to that, but I didn't realize that I was actually consciously manifesting those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a perception that I had, just like most people do have. You know, some people, or most people, honestly all people, have certain perceptions about certain things, and those things actually materialize. So in some cases, some people might say, oh, all men cheat. What ends up happening in their reality? All the men that they see around them freaking cheat. Okay, so now your sister's getting cheated on, this is happening, this is... Stop it. Like, change your perception if you don't want to be experiencing things that are unfavorable like that. You know, that's another huge thing. Stop being picky about, actually I didn't even get to tell my story, but I'll tell in a second. Stop being picky. I mean, be very picky, but stop being picky about what you choose to go hard for and what you choose to not go hard for, if what you're gonna go hard for isn't gonna help you. Why? If you're attracted to men and you like men and you want to be in a healthy, loving relationship with a man, and despite the past that you may have gone through with men, don't be sitting here telling yourself things that you don't want out of these men, okay? As much as things may feel like they are complicated for you to be perceiving them in the way that's like, oh, all men are loyal, yeah, right. Try to work your way up a freaking ladder so that you can start to believe that. Because I even remember knowing as a teenager, I was like, if I start saying that all men are cheaters, that's all I'm gonna experience, and I can't do that. And keep in mind, the only relationships I ever had up until that point were I was getting cheated on. I was getting cheated on in all of those relationships because I was with bum ass men. But after that, I said to myself, I was like, all men don't cheat. Like, I know that for sure, because I've seen very beautiful relationships and I can feel the energy, and I know that if that exists for other people, it exists for me, and it did. So I'm just saying, guys, everything is possible. If you actually believe in yourself, everything is freaking possible. But back to my story. So what I was saying is that with the money thing, I was at $0.00, and basically what happened was, like, I reached a point where I realized that I couldn't live like that anymore. I was like, I can't live on this mindset that money is difficult to have and that it's gonna take me a while to make it back up or whatever, because I knew how it was detrimentally affecting me and my reality. I'm not gonna be a victim to some shit that I am in control of. Like, a piece of paper, you're not gonna rule my life. I don't care who or what you are. A phone's not gonna rule my life. A person's not gonna rule my life. Nothing out here will. I am. That's it. Okay, so then right then and there, that night, I found my first law of assumption video, and I basically went all in because I just knew it was God. I just knew. I was like, this is a huge, enormous sign telling me how to take control over my life so that I can live a much better life. And that right there, I took it, I ran with it. I applied all of the information that I got down, okay? And from there on out, it's been a wrap. You know, obviously I've been making videos about the law of assumption for quite a while now, because I know of how amazing things can really be for everybody if you just choose to let them be that way, okay? So yes, as the person asked, I believe they asked me what were like the first things I manifested. Financial stability was the first thing. I would say, consciously speaking, definitely. Everything after that, peace, happiness, love, feeling much better about myself inside and out, attracting a lot of good things because of my perception of myself. I believe that I am like a goddess of my reality, so everyone treats me accordingly. It's just like that. Every single thing that you put down on your paper when you are manifesting what you want, you just have to be pretty much positive about it. That's it. That's all you have to do. You know, even if you do overthink some things, it's totally cool and it's okay. You can overthink a little bit, whatever. The whole case in point though is that you end your day with the perception of what you actually want as opposed to what you don't want. want, okay? So let's say, for example, that, and this is what I also learned, obviously, because, you know, I used to be an enormous overthinker. God, guys, y'all don't even understand how much I would overthink when I was manifesting what I wanted all those years. I would sit here and you see, it was on purpose though, because I was afraid of having such wonderful things. But that's what I would do. I would sit here and I'd be like, but if I manifest this, like, what's gonna happen? Blah, blah, blah. It's gonna be really scary. Okay, so then that's one time I wouldn't manifest what I want. Then the next time, maybe I would take another step forward. I'd be like, no, you know what? Be stronger, girl. Like, you can do this. Let's manifest it. Okay, and then I was doing it. I was starting to get some validation. I was starting to get proof. I was starting to get wonderful things shown to me. Like, yeah, this is happening for you. Like, you're getting what you want. Okay? Nope, babe. I was too afraid of that still, and I would talk myself out of it. I'd be like, oh, but it's getting messed up because stupid reason, irrational reason, blah, whatever. I would take it and run. That right there would cancel out my manifestation, but it wouldn't even cancel it out. It would only cancel out because I let it. You see what I'm saying? It's all about what you allow. So what I had to learn to do here is that even if there were moments that I would overthink and I would say to myself, but, scared, whatever, I would have to go to sleep with the mindset of no, but still everything's gonna be okay. You know, I might be afraid, but I know I'm still gonna get what I want, like I have to. Maybe in this case, because I'm fighting with myself, some resistance here and there, that maybe my desire would come in a little bit slower, or it would come in a little bit different than with full power and confidence, because you know, when you're really confident in something, it just pops up in your face just like that. Okay, so if you really have your mind set on something wonderful, like whatever it is that you are manifesting, just go to sleep knowing that even if you have doubts, it's still gonna work out. Just like that, because my whole life I've been very, well, I'm not depressed anymore, thank God. You see, I manifested that away as well because I learned to work with myself. But many years ago, I was very, very, very depressed, honestly, for most of my life, up until a certain point when I realized I couldn't live like that anymore. But when I was very depressed, guys, like honestly, it was a kind of depression where, you know, you're like really hopeless. You really feel like there's nothing good for you. You don't know what's gonna happen in your life and you're really afraid, whatever. It's understandable. But at that time, I remember that I would go to sleep every single night still knowing though that I was okay. You know, like God had me, the universe had me, everything was gonna be fine, everything was gonna work out for me, everything was gonna be the way that I said that it was deep down inside. Even if I was fighting with myself on the surface, like my ego wanted to victimize myself that bad, fine, do you. You might suffer a little bit here and there because you're so set on the fact that you are suffering, but you still believe at the back of your mind, like you know that you are still getting everything that you want, even if you feel a certain type of way. You know, it's like the example of, let's say that you feel like you're unattractive and you just say, oh, I'm so ugly. You don't actually think you're ugly, girl. Like, shut the fuck up. You know you're not deep down inside. Like, you just know you're not. So that's why other people still know that you're beautiful. It's because you still know that you're beautiful. You're acting like you don't know it, but you do know it. That right there. Remember, guys, every single thing that you're doing right here, just make it work for you. If there's a little bit of stepping stones and you have some sort of disagreements with yourself and you're overthinking it a lot or whatever, that's cool. It's not cool, but you know what I mean? Like, it's straight, it's fine. Feel the way that you feel and have the thoughts that you have. The thing that I am the most adamant about though is that you are trying, not even trying, bro, that you are working through these things. I need you to just commit yourself to working through these things so that you can just allow everything else to be really easy for you. Because as long as you're sitting here and just making things harder for yourself by putting yourself down in those ways, I promise you guys, it's not that you won't be successful. You will still be, because you know deep down inside that you're meant to be still. But a huge thing is that you're going to feel the enormous energy of darkness that you don't freaking want. Like, why would you do that, you know? And even then, it's like, you're still always in control of that. You don't have to feel that way. You don't have to feel like anything other than the best. And just like that, that's why I honestly always state how important it is for you to just know that you have what you want. Like, just have confidence in yourself. I know that it seems scary, but it's not that freaking scary. I'm telling you, as someone who was terrified, I'm not scared anymore. I'm fully confident in myself. I believe in myself. I know that what I've got going on, like, I know what I'm doing. I know for a fact. And that is a beautiful thing about being a Capricorn. If you are a Capricorn or have Aquarius placements, like Saturn ruled things, is that with time you get better. So for myself, I'm obviously a way better manifester now than I was before, because I have had so much training in my head. You know, like, I trained the fuck out of myself to perceive things in a better and lighter and much more confident, powerful fashion, and it worked for me. I need you guys to understand we're all in this together. This is not just me, this is both of us. And honestly, next week I might make a part 2. I might make a part 2 because this topic, I really like it. And I feel like I'm not done talking, but I've spoken so much in this video, and I'm not gonna talk to y'all for like 40 minutes right now. I'm just gonna leave it for you guys, okay? So I'll be back. I probably will talk about other things with this because I feel like this is a really important topic. But okay guys, with that being said, thank you guys so freaking much for watching my video today. Thank y'all for everything. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for asking me the questions that y'all ask me. They're very important, and I love them, and I'm so happy to be able to answer them for you, especially someone who has had a lot more experience in this department and in a lot of other things in life. Like, believe me guys, I know a lot about a lot of things regarding pain, all the bad stuff, honestly, which I feel like is a good thing for myself because I feel like that right there helps me and enables me to help as many people as possible, you see? So I'm very thankful. Yeah, so with that being said guys, I've manifested a lot of wonderful things, thank God. I'm so happy that I am where I am right now with this, and I'm happy to be able to be here right now with you guys, like sitting right in front of a camera talking to you guys exactly as I am talking to you guys. I know that y'all will understand me perfectly because everything that we talk about here, and it feels like it's not just me talking, it's like us, every single thing that we talk about are all things that are very rational and that do apply to the mass majority, okay? Whether you're 14, whether you, I think like even 10 years old, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, up until 100 years old plus, you all can learn, are learning from this. This is meant for everybody. We're all in this together. Okay guys, may God bless y'all always. Thank y'all so much again for tuning in. I'm so excited to talk to y'all again next Thursday. May God bless y'all always. Please take care everyone. We got this per usual, as always. Yes, we most definitely do. All right then, angels, God bless again. Bye. I just have to say, for the baddies in the back, remember that every single thing that you're doing on your manifestation journey, on your law of assumption journey, if you're a beginner, just go with the flow of it. Just understand that this world is going to show you exactly how to go about everything that you need to go about, so you never have to worry about missing out on something, or if you're missing a step here, or anything that you feel is limiting to you. Butterfly again, beautiful. Remember guys, every single thing that you're doing is correct. Just assume the best out of it, okay? If you feel stressed and overwhelmed, take a step back. Do not go harder, all right? If you feel stressed out, take a freaking step back. If you feel like what you're doing is correct, just keep on going, and you will be shown in an even better and brighter direction. So it's gonna get even better for you from here, even greater, you know? So it's only up from here. Everything else, just go with the flow of it. Just understand, okay, I'm applying this. Let me see how it works out. If it resonates with me, if it doesn't, if this, if that, whatever. Work with yourself though. Work with yourself, because it's gonna work itself out for you, and it's gonna get a lot easier for you to just be on top of business while you are manifesting what you want with ease, okay? Remember guys, I've been through this before. Honestly, more times than I would like to admit, to be real with you, like a lot. And if I made it out on the other side in this case where I am extremely powerful and I do believe in myself this much, then I have no doubts about any of you guys at all. So next week, maybe I'll talk about, yeah, like perceiving things, like more of how you should perceive things, but perhaps basically about if you feel comfortable with certain things, if you don't, how you should go with the flow, things like that, especially as a beginner, because it doesn't have to be that complicated, and it's definitely not. All right, then though, y'all, may God bless y'all always. Thank y'all so much again for watching. Please take care everyone. Continue doing what you're doing. I am extremely proud of you all. Thank you guys so much for all of your support and for everything that y'all do for me. Just thank you guys. Thank you. Honestly, I was gonna say continue to watch my videos, please, because I know that it's gonna help you guys out, but I will say that to those who feel inclined to. If you feel inclined to watch my videos, please continue watching them, because I just know that they're gonna continue helping you, okay? And even if you feel like you're all good, amazing. I'm very happy for you. Just make sure that you tune in when you feel like you should. That's it. That's what I feel. Okay then guys, may God bless y'all always again. All right. Bye. Love you so much.